What's up, y'all? How's everybody doing? What's up, Michelle? All right, let me turn off the mute this engine. What's going on, Drawn? Mr. 93? What's up, Eddie? David? What's going on, everybody? All right, so I had already started this earlier just so I could have something already down, but it's the same thing. So I kind of just started with her head, oval. She got her hand up. I think this is a cover I seen on Facebook or somewhere. Can y'all hear me now? Is it very quiet? Quiet, louder? Let me see. I had a lot of noise going on in the background. All right, I got that turned all the way up. Let me know if that's better. But I hope everybody is doing all right. I am doing okay. So I don't know why I decided to draw on this tone paper, but it's just to change it up a little bit. And then I can use this white pencil. I don't even know what pencil it is, but it's a really good one, and it's really thick. I think you can wet this and it becomes paint as well, but I haven't tried it yet, so. So, that's good to hear, Michelle. I'm glad you're doing okay. Me and Eddie talked about WandaVision. I think me and David was talking about it too via text. I really dug her suit. They put a cool spin on it. I felt like some of the fight scenes were a little draggy. And I guess maybe what's her name wasn't supposed to do anything. It would have been cool to see her do some more power stuff or superhero stuff. The black chick, I can't remember her name, but it'd have been cool to see her do something. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I feel like I know Vision more, if that makes sense. I guess just his whole, maybe not his whole story or anything, but I just feel closer to him, if you will. I do have a better appreciation for Ultron, the Age of Ultron movie. Just because of Wanda and her brother and Vision and all that stuff, so I know I had people hitting me up asking me questions like, shit, I don't know. I didn't know who that lady was. The other witch, I didn't know who that was. Monica Rambeau, yeah, that's it. Damn, I don't know why I keep forgetting. I like that they kept the elements of the original outfit, but that it was really done nice, very tasteful. Yeah, it was just a dope suit. Whoever was the costume creator behind that done really good on it. I hope to see her do more in the future shows. Yeah, me too, man. I feel like they set up a lot there for future stuff. Yeah, that would be really cool. I guess for the Doctor Strange stuff, maybe the new stuff coming out. And man, I'm so excited for the Winter Soldier and what's his face. I just think that is going to be a badass, kick-ass type of show. Agatha Harkness. In the comics, she is pretty different. What do you mean pretty different? Like, is she a villain? I heard some people say she's just kind of like neutral.
YouTube Premium removes interruptions from your favorite music. Start a free trial now.
But yeah, just overall, I guess it was definitely a solid 5 out of 5. The storytelling, the visuals. And I mean, even though it was a TV show, I'm glad they didn't skimp too much on like the visual effects and the special effects and all that stuff. So yeah, it was just all around a really good good thing they had going on there. Super looking forward to the tears. The internet. Man babies. Oh yeah, they're not gonna have that one at all. Man baby tears. Ah, okay. Yeah, I mean, it would be cool to see her, come back in there or something, some type of way. She was definitely a cool character. I mean, I guess Wanda left her in that little city. Said she'll come back and get her if she needs her. So hopefully there will be a need. And so with this hand, I kind of, again, here's one. So I started with like the palm shape, like that. And then 2 is just adding on the fingers, kind of, and they don't even have to be like real fingers at first. You can just even do skeletons or something, but once you have them in place, then you can start fleshing them out. You have the fingers in place, and 3 is fleshing them out. So, and the only way to get better at hands is to just keep doing them. There is no shortcuts to that. It's just you gotta practice them. I hope they bring her back. They let the same actress. Yeah. It would definitely be weird if it was somebody else, but because I can't remember what she was on before. She looked really familiar, but she done a really good job at it. So. But other than that, I hadn't been watching anything too much. Most stuff is just in the background as I'm drawing or doing something. I did get a new drone, so I've been messing around and playing with that for a minute. And still just working on some models and stuff. Trying to, see if there's going to be an art show, but if there is, I need to get ready for it. other than that, tattooing, starting to pick back up a bit. Um, I'd like to get to a point where I could hire someone to actually respond to emails and stuff. That is probably one of the things I hate about having to do all this on your own. Is I guess the many hats that you got to put on, but that clerical type of work as far as emailing and going back and forth. And honestly, I don't mind that too much. It's just that, everybody wants something different. So it's not like I can send out a pre-written email or, something that's already written and can cover a multitude of people. Because I have the one and it's a form, but once they fill it out, I still have to reply back, and I got threads of emails from just like one person with threads, sometimes as much as 15, 20 emails back and forth, and I'm just like, ugh. Oh, that's right. That's right. She was on Parks and Recs. Damn it. You are right. That's exactly where she was from. But yeah, she done good, man. We need to talk about that chat bot again. Oh, yeah. What David said. Yeah, that would be cool, man, if we could come up with something. Like I said, I don't mind replying to emails and stuff. It's just you have to answer so many different ways. I mean, because, it's obvious people want different tattoos. And then, you know, there's people that don't read stuff fully, so then you got to re-explain stuff over, and it just becomes a pain. I guess I'm just bitching right now. I don't know who actually did the cover to this, but they did a killer ass job, especially the colorist. I think for me in the comic book world, colorists don't get enough credit like they should. And I mean, you know, as a penciler and inker, if that's what I was going to do, not that, you know, those guys don't deserve credit for what they do, and writers and all that stuff, but I think the colorist, and especially if it's a really well-known colorist, they have a person which is called the flatter. So, you know, this is done, all the whatever, they email this or put it on a server, and whoever is next in line goes to that file and grabs it, downloads it, and so you got like colors, and then you got the fades of the colors and all that stuff, but there's a person from inking to the actual colors. It's called a flatter. So they'll just take like all of this stuff and make it her skin tone, do her hands and the suit, whatever color the suit is, make that just one flat color. Then they send that to the colorist. So sometimes the colorist ain't even doing all the work, if you will. Most of them do all the work, but you know, if you're really famous, or you know, you got deadlines, those guys typically hire someone called a flatter, and that's all they do is flat. It's pretty boring. But what I was saying is I think they don't get enough credit. That's all. They can learn and respond to what people are saying. Nothing wrong with just venting sometimes. Yeah. Try not to get too caught up into it though. Because I know sometimes I can just go on and on and on and on. It's true, colors can be amazing. Oh yeah, I mean the stuff that they do is just amazing, to say the least. But because I mean they're artists too, right? They have to know anatomy. They have to know literally just as much as the penciler does, or you know, the inker is another one that they get some credit, but it's like after the penciler does whatever he's doing, you know, there's a naughty word that they call them as tracers. And yeah, I mean, for the most part, because the work is done, but depending on what penciler you get, you know, they may not go as far as, you know, as much detail. So now that inker needs to figure out what that penciler meant when he put that line wherever he put it. So, they typically have teams, and that anchor and penciler have been working together for a minute. So they kind of understand each other. They understand, oh, he put that line there. That's for the bicep, tricep area or something. Yeah, anchors get a bad rap. I have a really good friend, and Eddie, you may know him, Dexter Vines. He's been inking for Marvel in DC for I don't even know how long. I mean, it's been a long time. I've known that dude forever. He actually was supposed to mentor me and kind of get me in there, if you will. But we could just never link up. The time would always be off. He'd either be out of town doing stuff, or he'd be mentoring someone else, and it just never worked out. I'm kind of glad it didn't. I don't think I would have been happy doing comics in general. It's a great field. I love comics, obviously, but I don't think I would have been happy actually doing them day in and day out. I took sequential art when I went to SCAD for a quarter. I forgot my professor's name, but he was a cool little dude. And the first day we went in there, his speech was, if you don't want to draw every day and make no money, this is not for you. And now to think about it, I think he's a tattoo artist now too. I have to remember his name at some point, but yeah, that was his speech to us, is that comic book artists don't make money for the most part. And there would be times he wouldn't even be in class because he'd be on a deadline or something he had to catch up on. I think he was working on one of the Spider-Mans or something, and he had them deadlines he had to meet. I think that helped solidify me not wanting to do that. But yeah, I don't think comics are for the faint at heart. It's all glamorous. You see all those big guys that are now like hella world known, like obviously Jim Lee, McFarlane, Scott Campbell, all those dudes. But them cats been in there for a minute, man. And they can command certain things, right? Campbell doesn't even do comics anymore. I think he just does covers and pinups and all that stuff. Obviously, McFarlane has his own company, so he can kind of do whatever he wants to do. And they just been in there for a minute, so, it doesn't work that way when you first get in. And I mean, you have to be exceptionally well too. Like, there's so many other people out there trying to do the same thing. Sure, them dudes get hella submissions every day. from some really dope people. So I don't know. I just say all that to say that comics was not for me. I really had to sit back and reevaluate some shit, and because I mean, I'll still get requests of somebody like, oh, you know, I got this great story. I just need an artist to bring it to life. I'm like, I'm not that motherfucker, man. I'm not doing that at all. Just, it's way too much work. And people that usually ask that don't have a clue of what they're asking. You know, you really hadn't done a research on how a comic is made, or, you know, what it takes to get that completed, you know. You need a team for that type of stuff. Yeah, a lot of the older guys just do covers or the occasional storyboard job for Hollywood. They can make money on those. Oh, tons of more money. I think, I don't know if I have that page hidden on my website, but that's what I really would have done if I would have stayed in the industry or kind of really dove into the industry. Besides doing 3D stuff, I would have probably done storyboarding. Just like you were saying, Eddie, I mean, there's so much more money in it. And it's most of the stuff is done already. Like, you just have to look at whatever somebody wrote and draw it. Like, there's no real, I'm not gonna say thought processes, because there's definitely a lot of thought processing, but it's not like comics. And even though you get a comic and you know, there's a script already written for that, for this, you know, as a comic book artist, you got to draw it like I'm drawing now, like highly detailed. Everything has to be right. But with that, with storyboarding, you can fudge some stuff a little bit, right? And when I say fudge stuff, or you don't have to have so much detail. You don't have to spend a lot of time on stuff like that. Now, you do have to know the basics. Like, you got to know 2 and 3 point perspective. You got to know what a building looks like in conjunction to 2 or 3 characters in the scene. So there's definitely things you still have to know as an artist, but it's so much easier to be a storyboard artist versus a comic book artist. Because I mean, it's basically the same thing, but again, you just don't have all that that detail you need to concern yourself with. As I'm looking at this cover, I want to say she is being overtaken by Venom. That's what it looks like. I may have to go to this comic book shop and grab this issue because it looks pretty cool. There's a lot of black, oh, that's really stuff that Venom usually does, or something's coming from somewhere. I don't know what's happening here, but it looks cool as shit. That's why I drew. But Michelle, I did get your, I seen your email. You said you were cool with those characters. I think maybe March, like the beginning-ish, mid-April-ish. Maybe we can start on it. And yet, David, I hadn't forgot, obviously, about yours. It's just, I need to get at least 2 or 3 more solid color pieces under my belt. And I know we talked about it before, so. But since I have y'all here, I guess I can reiterate. I actually have a really cool little mushroom piece I'm getting ready to do, a full color one. And it's not huge, but I think it's just the fact I got a lot of color blends and stuff that's happening in there. So that'll get me a little closer to getting that Iron Man finished. And I think, honestly, I talked to Ryan the other day, and I told him about the the mushroom. Them both kind of said it at the same time. He was just like, this is what he was telling me. He was like, you know what you got to do, and you know how to color blend. You just need to do it now. So I think for these smaller ones, he's probably not going to be sitting with me. I know he'll sit with me when I do that Iron Man. But again, he'll probably just kind of sit in the back. Like, he won't really do too much of anything. But kind of just, help me pick colors if I need help with that, or anything of that nature, if you will. Because like I was saying, at some point, I just need to go on and do it, even because he's not going to hold my hand the whole time. So, but I think, for me, I got that. Hold on. Yes. I got that line work pretty good, man, and I don't want to, it's just something I don't want to mess up as far as the tattoo. So, man, there's a lot of detail in this thing happening here. Sheesh. I think at some point I'm just kind of start doing my own little thing here. There's no way to actually get every little detail of what's happening in this piece. She's got her other hand. I can't even see that. Let's see, am I up? Yeah. She has her other hand here. I don't think I'm gonna do this whole hand though. I'll probably just block it in so I kind of know what's happening. And right now I'm looking at the reference and I'm just using, again, just reference points. So if I start here and draw an imaginary line all the way down here, her breast is kind of out here. Then it curves back in. And her other shoulder is out here. And then I'll draw another imaginary line here. So since her body, there's no, and that's another trick comic guys do, or just artists in general. Like if there's a static shot and like here her face is straight looking at us, her hand is straight, everything else is doing something to add movement to this piece. But that also makes it a little easier to draw. So now if we put a cross down here, we got her eyes, her nose, mouth, center line. You can use that center line to go all the way down. And now since I drew her shoulder is here, we got the crest, quote unquote, of a shoulder here. If I draw a straight line over here, I know a crest needs to go somewhere in that same area, right? Again, because she's straight on, everything is just lining up. And typically, comic book characters are evenly proportioned, right? They're perfect. Their bodies are perfect, whether male or female, superheroes or villains. So with that in mind, everything just lines up perfect. Boom. So we know she has a breast here. One should be right here because she's kind of squeezing her arms in. So if this comes down, this will come down and or out. It's still just, everything is lined up. But since she's not in like an action pose and she's stiff, if you will, or stagnant, kind of just a straight on shot, her hair needs to be really big and flowy. Whatever this stuff is coming out of her, that's a movement that she's not doing. Because again, you always want your piece to move. You want it to not be static, and you want the eye to move around and see stuff and have the reader like, ooh, ah. I have no doubt you'll knock it out. Oh, thank you. Peace looking dope. What up, Slim Jim? Long foot. How you doing tonight, man? Just to talk more about the sequential art class I took. We had this one. It was a lot of work, and I know schools typically, overwork you to kind of prep you for whatever industry your major is. But it was just a lot of work, which I don't have a problem in doing. I do feel like it was a little much, but again, I think I was either the oldest or one of the oldest students that my professors had for my class anyway. It was just a lot. But I think I still have, not all, but probably most of my projects, I guess that I was really proud of. There was we had to do I want to say a 5-panel story, and it was, I think the theme was, why did the chicken cross the road? But you didn't necessarily have to do a chicken, but that was the theme. So you had to get a character from one side of the road to the other, but tell a story of why they had to get over there. And I'd done a Viking turtle going across the road to get a barrel of whiskey or ale or something like that. And I set the scene up that, turtles move really slow. So I had, if I can remember, I think I still have like the character concept and everything, but if I can remember, so this is the sheet. I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was something like that. So I had it laid out like that, and you have the whole Z pattern thing happening. So I think I had a shot of the road. The little turtle was here. And he had little horn helmet, and the ale was like over here. I think The next shot was a Geico lizard or something. What is it? He had like, no, it was a chameleon. So he was, the turtle was the slow one. The chameleon was in a hot rod coming down this street, and he was looking at him. I guess he could see him here. I'll have to find and see if I can find the actual comic. But and he was in like this on your marks, get ready, go stance. And so I pulled in closer to see him in his car, and he was flying. The turtle is looking at him now like, oh, I gotta go. And I think I had a really close up shot of the turtle's foot, like he was getting ready to run out there to go get the ale. The car passes him, and he doesn't go anywhere because it's like he's getting all this energy ready to go, and it's just like, yeah. So it'll take him forever to get that ale, but that was it. It was a fun project, but trying to figure out one, I guess, comedy, if you will, or a story for that short of panels was a little challenging. And we had some other stuff we had to do too. I was always an overachiever at SCAD, so one of the things was if your projects made it to the wall, and what that is kind of just what it says, like your project was good enough that the professor liked and you got a really good grade, you got to go on the wall. I think every time some of mine was out there on the wall, whether it was doing comics or even when I was taking my my basic studies like color theory and 3D art and all that stuff, I would always just overachieve, I guess. And like I said, I think a lot of it was I was a lot older than damn near all my classmates, so I kind of went in understanding, you have to hustle. And most, I'm not knocking young people in general, but most young folks don't hustle like old people do, or just don't have understanding. Now, granted, there was enough young folks there too that did hustle, and those motherfuckers was dope. So there was always that little bit of competition, friendly competition, if you will. And I think it just made you, work harder. To be on a wall was not, look, I made it, but it was like, look, I made it, I kind of like that because, nowadays it's like, oh, let's award, kids for being mediocre. I don't want any hate email or anything like that, but because I've had kids and even when they were little, I was just like, that's not good enough. So go back and do it again. And I'm not awarding anyone for mediocre work. So I think more or less, again, I think them trying to prep people in general for when they get out there in the real world. It's like I was saying with those comic book companies. They get tons of submissions every day from somebody twice as dope as I am or whoever. But if all my life I was told I was good and I really wasn't good, now I get out there and I keep getting rejected because I was told I was good but really wasn't. And I finally, get a chance to either get opportunity to at least interview with someone or whatever, and they tell me I'm not good enough. Now I think, well, why am I not good enough? I was being awarded and praised for the work I've been doing, but in actuality it just wasn't good enough. So I don't know, I've never been a fan of awarding somebody for mediocre work. So I don't know how I got on that subject, but I think me and my girlfriend were talking the other day. Maybe this was, it came about a few months ago. I think right at the beginning of the year, we were kind of in that same vein of, because she's a professor at Georgia State, and her students always have something happening or going on or whatever. But, at the bottom line is that most of them don't want to do the work. I think we were hashtagging like, you can't skip the line, right? It's like in the supermarket, you have, you may have one item, somebody else has 20 items, and you don't want to wait for that person, but you can't skip the line either. So you have to wait. You got to put in that work of waiting. And I think the analogy is that, while you're waiting, do the work. So, yeah, there's no skipping the line, man. With anything, really. Gotta work. Running out of steam, going to head to bed. Hope you're weak. Oh, same to you, Shell. We'll see you next week, and I'll try and send you some stuff within the next few weeks or so you can take a look and see what we got going on here. But have a good evening, and talk to you soon. Thanks for hanging out. some stuff happening here. But yeah, I think Michelle probably has the right idea. It's about time for me to shut shop down anyway. So, with that said, I appreciate y'all for hanging out. And I'll be back next week. I'll probably be doing some modeling again. Like I said, I got to get ready for this art show. So I got 1, 2. I think I'm gonna go grab another one. So I got about 2 or 3 more models I need to work on and finish. So I'll probably be doing some of that next Tuesday. So I'll try and have something set up to where y'all don't have to watch paint dry. Meaning I'll try and do some actual weathering and have stuff prepped by the time y'all get in here. So, but yeah, I appreciate y'all and see you next week. Peace.